Hey, it says Mr. Friend. Oh no, I'm going to miss this stream too. I have to pick up my son in 40 minutes. Hopefully, catch the next one. Have a great day. Hello, Mr. Friend. Please say hello to your son. I'm sorry you're missing the stream. If you get to rewatch it, this is for you. This right here. Okay. My name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time before I start my real job. What an interesting week. What an interesting week, full of insights and lessons and hard decisions. It's been really interesting. I look forward to creating the next vlog and sort of capturing where my mind was. So much has happened, and obviously, only bits and pieces I'm able to share. So, yeah, what have we learned this week? I can't remember what I titled this live stream, but I am learning that sometimes, hey, is that Lauren? Good morning, beautiful lady. Thank you. Good morning to you. I'm glad you're here. Please tell me you had a great week or an insightful week. I was sharing that I had an interesting week like this and lots of little lessons. I look forward to sharing them in my vlog, the ones that I can say and speak about. But yeah, lots of interesting emotions this week. Lauren, tell me how you're doing. I forgot what I titled this live stream as, but typically I wanted to share what we're learning, what we're thinking, and talk through that. That's always the most fun, is kind of in real time sharing what we're going through. Lauren says, I've had a really nice week with my mom and dad. Oh, yes, that's right. You're still there until tomorrow. Wow. Oh, that sounds so beautiful. I hope you've been enjoying the water and the warmth. Gosh, it's going to be mid-July. It's going to be mid-July next week. It's crazy. We're halfway through the year already. It just seems so nuts, especially with the seasons. You really notice how quickly time goes by with these ever-changing seasons. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I've had like an interesting week myself. With a lot of insights. Lauren says, it was 33 degrees yesterday, so hot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds similar to what we're going through here in Ontario, Canada. Lauren's from the UK, 33 degrees yesterday. And here, yeah, we're about the same thing. Last week, this week, I think into next week. So it's really crazy. Oh, the UK is in meltdown. I know, because I was sharing that my husband said that there was a statistic that like 1 in 5 people in the UK have air conditioning. So you guys aren't even really prepared for that type of heat wave. Apparently in North America or America, I can't remember what the statistic was, but it's like 1 in 9 people, or excuse me, 9 out of 10 people have air conditioning because we're used to it. But in the UK, you guys don't really get that type of heat. So I feel for you. The water's the best place to be, or air conditioning. Those are the two options. I love the heat, but I need to be in the right place for it, or else it's not so fun. Oh, yes, air conditioning isn't a bad thing. Yeah, and our houses are built to retain heat. Oh, wow, then you definitely need the air conditioning. Isn't a big deal. Oh, I see what you're saying. Again, my name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada at 7:43 a.m. What did you learn this week? What do you wish you could tell your younger self? What do you need to figure out here? I shared a post. I can't remember if I shared it on YouTube, but that our life will be a baseline of what we're willing to tolerate. I notice, and the things that people are willing to tolerate will be that sort of baseline level of the quality of their life. And sometimes we got to put our foot down. Sometimes we have to say no. Hey, we got Juan here, says hi. Hello, Juan. I'm glad you're here. My name is Robin, reporting live. Yeah. What'd you learn this week? Are you comfortable sharing it? Did you have an experience where you understood something about others or yourself, or setting boundaries, saying no? Sometimes there's a lot of guilt when you say no, or when you can't do something that somebody wants you to do. But we've got to set these boundaries sometimes, folks. Sometimes we have to put the things that we're going through and our capacity in the forefront, and we can't take on the responsibilities of other people when we have our own share of responsibilities that we're trying to work on. So it's an interesting thing to go through, being a human, balancing right from wrong, feeling guilty about your decision. But yeah, it's been interesting. I've had some situations, even with work, where I know I notice that, I'm relied on. I'm pretty relied on for some things, especially when others aren't, they don't have capacity for it. So I do notice that, sometimes you could be heavily relied on. If you have the right attitude and it looks like you can handle more, people want to keep giving you more. So there's that fine line of being nice and respectful, but also having boundaries and say, well, I don't have capacity for this right now. And being able to say that without feeling guilty is really tough. So again, it's all these life lessons. Hey, is that Kenneth Ford's name I see there? Kenneth Ford, welcome. How are you? What are you creating? Hey, Lauren, I just saw your beautiful photos this morning for some. Again, I have to press a million buttons to see things sometimes. And I saw your zoo pictures. They look incredible. Kenneth Ford, you got to check out the community tab. Lauren shared some really cool photos of the animals at the zoo in the UK, which is really cool. So Kenneth Ford, if you have some cool art projects, you want to stick some photos in the community tab, we'd love to see that. Oh, Lauren says it was so fun at the zoo. Yeah, those photos looked really close up too. I was like, oh my God, is she in the cage with them? That is close. So thank you for sharing that. That was so, so cool to see. My husband likes the zoo. We haven't been to the zoo for a really long time. So we've got a zoo not too far away within an hour. Hey, Kenneth Ford says, I have a huge pot that I just pressed go on. I'll check out the community tab. Yeah, please do. Share that. I remember you were working on something for a fundraiser, I believe, for your friend. I believe your friend lost everything in a fire, if I'm not mistaken, Kenneth. Please do give us an update on that. How is your friend? How is your goal and the things you're working on to support your friend? We'd love to hear how that's going. We got Beggar697 says, have you already had your goth phase or is it still waiting to happen? Oh, I don't know. I can't predict the future. I can't predict the future. Never went through a goth phase, but you know what? I let people be. I let people go through the phases. I've had my own share of phases throughout, and I imagine I'll still have some more phases. Let me see here. We've got a message that's been held. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me see. God bless, let me see. It's Beggar697 says, God bless the dinosaur that died to make the fossil fuel that became gas in the car that drove your mom to the hospital to give birth to you. Holy, that's a mouthful, Beggar697. I don't get it, but that's cool. We don't have to understand each other, right? That's the really cool thing about having, is it 8 billion people on the planet? That it's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay to kind of have different perspectives from people and let them be, let me be. And we just go about our lives, living in our own mental landscape. Kenneth Ford says, that's the one. Oh, been drawing for 2 weeks. Oh, that's the one that you were working on for your friend. Oh, that's so lovely. We would love to see that. We got Valhalla YouTube says, you're not a warrior. Well, thankfully, I don't have to be right now. But if push came to shove, I think I could do it. I think that whatever comes my way, I can handle it. I've built that identity now, truthfully. I've built that identity that whatever comes my way, I can figure it out. I feel very resilient. I feel like a problem solver. I don't want problems, but I feel like a problem solver. So maybe I wouldn't have to be a warrior that fights. I could find another way to solve problems. I'm definitely not a fighter. I'm a lover. Let's see what else Beggar697 wants to say. Hold on. What does it say here? It says, oh no, crap. What did I do? Technically you have 2 minutes to live, but every time you breathe, the timer resets. Interesting. Gangster, Valhalla says. Hey, that's interesting. I never said that I was a gangster, but folks, my name is Robin, reporting live from Ontario, Canada. We do these live streams to connect with people around the world, hear what you're thinking, get your perspective on life, any quotes, any things that you're learning in real time along the way that can actually add value to someone else's life. I do read everyone's name and comment, even the interesting ones. I've read some really interesting ones that are, sometimes people try to be mean in the comments, but what they'll soon realize is that strangers' words can't hurt me. And this live stream is meant to put good into the world, to remind you of possibility, to remind you of using the internet for good, that you're capable of the things that you want if you work towards it. That's how we roll here. Let's say Beggar697 says, when I realized you're live, I straight ran next door to show my neighbor. She was not happy to see me. Next time I'll put on some clothes first. Yeah, good idea. We've got Nandita says, hey, can you say my name? Absolutely. I hope I said it right. Nandita. Tawari. I love it. It sounds beautiful, your name. We've got hi from UDIP. Again, my name is Robin from Ontario, Canada. It's 7:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I start my real job at 8. We do these live streams to connect with people around the world, to see what people are going through, what they want to talk about, and we learn from each other. Hey, Nandita is from India. Hello. Nice to meet you. Let's say, your hand looks heavy. Want me to hold it for you? Yeah, it's pretty heavy here. So again, folks, if you have a tip or quote or something that you're learning along the way, you've stepped out of your comfort zone, maybe a lesson that you're still learning, you haven't figured it out yet, and you're willing to write it down in the chat. I'd love to read it and talk through it. Kenneth says, I joined late. What's the topic today? You know what? I forgot what I wrote, what the topic was, because I scheduled this live stream last week. So I can't remember what I wrote. Hey, Beggar from Mother Russia. Hello, welcome. My name's Robin from Canada. So I can't remember what I wrote in the topic. Does it say it here somewhere? Oh, I don't want to press any buttons. But the topic today, let's just go with, what do you wish you knew earlier? You know, what do you wish you realized earlier? I am realizing now that the things that we tolerate will become like our life, the stuff we're willing to accept from others. My mom used to have this saying, it was like, you teach people how to treat you. And it's like what you allow others to treat you, what you allow into your life, that sort of standard, what you tolerate, that's going to be the quality of your life. So if you tolerate, for example, your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, you know, swearing at you when you're in a fight, they say bad words and call you names, like that's going to be the quality of your life, what you tolerate. There are some relationships where the partner would never think twice about calling the person a name because it's just not the standard. They will not tolerate that. So I ask you, have you been tolerating something that you realize you shouldn't? Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe it's a friend who always says negative, mean things to you or always needs something from you. And you're like, hey, you know, I got to set some boundaries here. I'm working on a vlog, kind of sharing some of those insights that I'm learning this week. And I'd be curious to know what you're learning. Lauren has a great reminder. When we see the good, we become part of it. Absolutely. Have you seen any good this week? Have you noticed something? Have you done something good? Maybe that's a good live stream idea, is like, hey, let's share the good things we did this week. And again, folks, it doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything. It doesn't mean that every request that comes your way and everything that everyone needs, you must say yes to be a good person. I think we have to have boundaries for ourselves. And we can't let complications from other people always trickle in and put the things that are going on in your life on the back burner. Because some people seem like they can handle a lot, but they can't. So you got to set boundaries for yourself. Let me see what we got here. Nandita says, it's 5:52 p.m. Oh my God, I would love to be at 5:52. It means my workday's over. I got all my work done and now I could party. Right now it's 7:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Ontario, Canada. I start my real job in 7 minutes. But here we talk about all the things that when we leave this live stream, we feel a little bit brighter, a little bit better, a little more enthusiastic. That's the goal, folks. Kenneth Ford says, I love this. Kenneth Ford said, I wish I realized earlier to allow for imperfection. I love that. I was listening to Gary Vee and he was saying, perfect doesn't exist. There's no such thing as perfect. Don't aim for perfect, right? Embrace our imperfections. It's okay to learn as we go. We don't have to have it all figured out. Start before you're ready. I love all of that. Thank you for saying that. I'm a cook your, what is it? Oh my God, I'm a cook your what? Let me see. Forgive me for not saying your name right. It says, are you a manifesting coach? Ooh, okay. Well, that's not my real job. And, but I did do a coaching certification last year to get my coaching certification. So when I do these live streams, I felt like I could add more value because there's a varying range of the stuff that comes up in lives. Sometimes it's very light and funny. And other times they're very serious things that people are dealing with: sickness, death, loss, alcoholism, addiction. We've seen a lot on these live streams too that some people are willing to share. So I wanted to be prepared. So I did do a coaching certification. That's not my real job currently. But the word manifesting tends to throw people off. But I kind of think manifesting just means like creating, like it creates the life that we want. So whether you use the word manifestation or you kind of just end up creating the life based on whatever you put out there, whatever you talk about, what you think about, all the things that you're doing, it kind of all manifests into what we call our current life that we're living. And sometimes there's a lag there, folks. Sometimes you start working on your life, working on your mindset, working on your fitness, but it doesn't show yet. And that can feel a little crappy when you don't see the results right away, but keep going, keep progressing. I also shared this week that I did one pull-up. I'm able to do one pull-up, but a few months ago I couldn't do any. So I need you to know that progress, even though when it's small, it doesn't look like anything special, but it's still progress, folks. And we need to work on that progress. So let me see here. Me too, Kenneth Lawrence said. Yes, about perfection. We don't have to aim for perfection. And I think when we take that off the plate, it actually feels easier. And I notice personally, the more things I create, the more I talk about it, the more I realize that like, hey, if it's not perfect this time, I'll just learn from it and do better next time. I'm not just waiting till all the stars are aligned, everything's perfect, my hair looks great, I don't have a zit, everything's got to be perfect to start. I think we'd be waiting a long time if everything has to be perfect for us to start. So I love that, Kenneth. I love, Lauren, that you echoed that. I think we could all use that. I think a lot of us kind of wait till we're ready, wait for perfection to start things. And we're missing the opportunity to learn and grow as we go. If I waited to do a pull-up, like I needed the practice. I needed the reps to even be able to do that. So if you even want to have a goal of doing something to perfection, let's say, you would need all those practice reps. It's not going to be perfection on the first try. You would need all those reps, all those practice sessions. So I love that. What a beautiful statement to share today. You were very sweet, Nandita says. Oh, thank you. And I got some beautiful emojis here. Is it this one? Is that the emoji? I can't tell. Is it hearts? I can't tell, but thank you. I'm glad you're here. My name's Robin, reporting from Ontario, Canada. Do you like Indian food? Nandita says, my mom is from Guyana. So my mom is actually Indian. I have a whole family full of Indians. And I'll be honest, my husband, who's Greek, he loves the Indian food more. He'll eat oxtail for breakfast, curry goat for breakfast. That man will eat. Me, I like a little French fries and gravy. I'm sorry, but I do love soca music. If you come to my house, you're going to hear me blasting up the soca music while I eat my Canadian food. And then my husband will be eating all that Indian food for sure. Let me see here. Where do we go? Where do we go? I'm finally catching my first live. Hey, Cheryl Lynn, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the channel. I've got like 1 minute before I start my real job, but I'm glad you're here. If anybody ever wants to rewatch some of these live streams, not watch, but just listen. You're doing some chores. You want to hear a little bit of positivity, the reminders of hope and possibility and just, starting before you're ready, it's good to listen back to some of these live streams. Beggar697 says, how are you planning to buy gifts for your nieces and nephews' upcoming birthdays? Well, we have a rule now because we have like 12, 13, 14 nieces and nephews. Once they hit 18, we're not buying gifts for them anymore. There's way too many people in our family. So under 18, they get a gift. Hey, we got Sherilyn also from Ontario. Yay. Bigger says, you are married for 17 years, but you were together. That's right. How did you know that? You're new to the channel. Or have I seen your name before? Welcome. Thank you. You're absolutely right. Nanda says, do you like Hinduism? I don't know a lot about it, but you know what? I'm curious. I'm curious about reincarnation. I'm curious about different religions, different beliefs, different perspectives. I like hearing all of the differences, and then I come up with my own little conclusions, and they change. I'm not locked into one belief. Oh, Lauren says, have a great day, Robin. Blue skies and positive vibes. Lauren, I love that. Blue skies and positive vibes. I might have to borrow that from you. Folks, look for the good, please. If this live stream does anything for you, just try to create something, read something, step out of your comfort zone, do something different, exciting, and be kind to others. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's right. Oh, that's so beggar. That's so interesting. Yes, I had a very traumatic experience. That's so interesting that you knew that. Okay, folks, I got to go to my real job. Rath Krishna. Do you know Radhi Krishna? No, I don't. I got to go to my real job, folks. I wish I had more time for this. This is where my heart is. I love this. I love connecting with you. And I wish you an incredible weekend. Until the next one.